Hi there. This is Renee Carter from the IT department. I wanted to give you a few updates on what you can expect in the new version of MarginMinder that's coming out in mid-March. It's MarginMinder version 5.6, and it has at least one, maybe two very cool features that we'll be getting. The first one, this is not a very big deal, but we do have the ability that's new in version 5.6 where if we do a product list or any kind of list, doesn't have to be product, but I'll use product as an example. We have the ability to do it for all members now instead of just the member that was in focus. And before we only had the option to do it for the member in focus, and we kind of had to roll everything up together, maybe under corporate or something, to get the full list. So this one does give you the ability to get the full list without having to do that other step. The next thing, and this is probably the coolest feature that we're going to get with MarginMinder version 5.6, is that we can do up to 5 buys. Now, it sounds great in theory, and it actually is great, but you have to keep in mind, if we are doing a report that has 5 buys, and you're looking at a ton of data company-wide, by account for every account, by salesman for every single salesman in the company, it's going to take a really long time if you go to expand all of those fields. One thing that they did add, though, is the ability to cancel in the middle. So if it does look like it's taking too long, just hit that cancel button. So I'm going to do a little example for you just so you can see. I'm going to drill into something here. Columbus, and we'll do by chain. I'll just pick one chain. I want to do by salesman, by customer. Now see, you can see first buy and second buy didn't change any. I'm going to left click for first buy. I'm going to right click for second buy. That's exactly like our previous procedures. So to get to that third buy, there's a couple different ways. I like to just expand one. You can click on these buttons here. You can see we have these other buys we can set. So to get to your third buy, you can click on this button here, or you can expand it more and it'll bring up the other button here, and you can click on that and it'll just default to the third buy. If we did that, we click here, it defaults to third buy. What we'll do here is set our third buy in this screen. Now you could certainly set your buys, your first and your second, in this screen as well. If you're already used to doing right click, left click, and you're just looking for a couple things, it's real easy. Just do it the way you've been doing it. I'm going to just add a couple more things here. I'm going to do this. We have by salesman, by customer. I'm going to do by sub. And then I'm going to do a fourth buy. I'm just going to pick that in the list here. And I'm going to do by product. So I have these. If I expand, you can see there's my sub, there's my product. So we have 4 buys here. Salesman, customer, sub, product, within the Heidelberg Columbus and Kroger Columbus chain. So to expand those, I'm just going to click in this box like we always have, and I'm going to do tree options, expand, all. I'm just going to do to the third buy because it might take a really long time if we do to the fourth buy. I want you guys to get a good feel for how long it takes. It's not going to take that long for the data we have. If I went down to the next buy, it'd probably take a little longer. But you can see we always have this option now to hit this cancel, and that's new. So this one's not going to take that long that we can't just wait. But this is probably the coolest feature that you're going to see in MarginMinder version 5.6. Now, you don't have to go out to 3, 4, and 5 buys. If you're comfortable with 2 buys and that's all you really need, you have bookmarks that are set up that you want to use, that's fine. Continue to use those. It's not a big deal. But if you are one of those power users, wants to see a lot more data, drill into 4 or 5 buys, you do have that ability now. So you can see we have, I'll close this one back up, but we have this all expanded out to 3 buys now, and we didn't do that 4th one. So this is probably the coolest feature in the new version of MarginMinder. The next thing that's really cool, which is an enhancement to what we have, is the ability to make a temporary collection. I know we've all been there. We've created these collections that we only needed for a minute, but we had to save it as a private collection. It's there forever until we delete it, and we don't have to do that anymore because we can create these temporary ones. Now, the check member pointer, it looks a little different. Actually, a lot of these icons look a little different. I would suggest like kind of hovering over them until you're used to it. The time period isn't just a clock now. It looks like a calendar. The collections doesn't really just look like a paper clip anymore. The check member pointer still has a check mark on it though, so I'm going to just grab a couple of these companies and I'm going to create a collection of those. So I'm going to do save as collection, checked, and you can see it defaults to temporary, so you don't have to give it a name or anything. Just hit OK. If you want to change, if you want it to be a regular collection and not, you want to save it so that you can access it later, drop down here and go to private, give it a name. It'll save it just like before. It'll always be available there for you. But if you're like me and you just want to create a temporary one and you don't really need to see the same collection again, just leave it blank and hit OK. It's going to bump you over to where you have all of those things. Now you can drill into these just like you would any other thing. And I think these are the biggest 3 enhancements that you're going to see in MarginMinder. I am still exploring the software. There may be other exciting features, and as I find those, or as I get together with Salient and they let me know of some of these other features, I'll be creating more videos. And hopefully this is enough to get you a good start. And if you have any questions, as always, you can email me, renee.carter@heidelbergdistributing.com. Thank you. Have a great day.